So we have 2 more finals to go, and up first it is KZ2 Masters. Well, Wesley Duval, despite being on the back foot, courtesy of Glenn van den Hoek. For those wondering what that noise is in the background, it's a jet engine because there are planes still taking off from Eindhoven Airport just across the road. So Wesley Duval will start from pole position. Glenn van den Hoek might look for the same textbook start he got in the pre-final earlier on. Will line up on the outside of the front row. Edgar Oosting, Bas Steen, Gert van den Brink, Danny Stockman, William van der Kaai, Niels Koster, Mick Bertram, Mike Hendricks and Mark Verhoeven round out the 11-strong grid. So the drivers will be weaving from side to side to get some temperature in the tyres, ready to go racing one more time. And then KZ2 will close out the show. And then our next round of the championship will take place in a little while. Call it a month. 23rd of July, 23rd of June at Kerpen. At the so they'll be in Western Germany, not too far away from the Michael Schumacher Museum in Cologne at the Motorworld location, the Erflandring. And then we return. Then we have a bit of a summer holiday up until the 15th of September, when the 6th round heads here to Circuit de Landsard, Circuit Park Berghem, 13th of October, and the season finale at the Home of Champions on the 3rd of November at Karting Genk. So get yourselves ready for the roller coaster ride that is KZ2 Masters. Full throttle, green flag waves, revs rise, lights on, lights out, we're underway, and it's a run to turn 1. And again, the same thing happened like in the pre-final. Glenn van den Hoek got the jump on Wesley Duval, and now Edgar Oosting looking up the inside, gets second at turn 2. So Glenn van den Hoek doing a great job at the front end of the field, just literally mugging Wesley Duval. And then Edgar Oosting doing the same thing at turn number 2, just launched it up the inside. Now they're starting to pull away early. Behind Wesley Duval, Edgar Oosting, Bas Steen amongst others. And also William van der Kaai also getting his elbow stuck out. He's currently up in 6th place at the minute in a 104 on the Birrelart. But the top 2 pulling away early. Oosting was looking through at turn number 12 on van den Hoek, and now looks for the move up the inside, through at turn 1 at lap 2. Edgar Oosting makes the move stick, and now van den Hoek straight back at him on the run down to turn number 2. Change a little bit further back, Gert van den Brink up the inside and takes 4th from Bas Steen, I believe, looks to be the case. And van der Kaai has also got through. So Gert van den Brink drops down from what was, well, I think it was Gert van den Brink on Bas Steen. Or Edgar Oosting makes a mistake through the chicane. Nearly opens the door for Glenn van den Hoek just to get through. And now it's going to really start closing up at the front end of the field. Trying to apply the power was the 104 of William van der Kaai through turn number 12. And we've had an incident coming out of 12, out of 11 at turn 10. So one of the Birrelarts round the wrong way, I'm afraid. And that is Danny Stockman, I'm afraid. Now, up the inside, dive bomb from nowhere. William van der Kaai up the inside, and that is the 117 of Gert van den Brink that ends up being exiting stage left out of turn number 2. And now Oosting and van den Hoek are being closed in on by a hungry, by a very highly motivated Wesley Duval at the minute. So it is going to come through to this lap. Lap 3 in the books. So Oosting, van den Hoek, Duval, van der Kaai, Steen, Hendricks. And now could be a change for the race lead. Van den Hoek through. Oosting gets hip checked a little bit by Duval, and now van der Kaai looking up the inside, possibly through into turn 3. No, not on that particular occasion. So van den Hoek's move on Oosting opened the door for De Waal, and it's a resumption of what we saw in the pre-final earlier on. And Oosting leads the train behind, followed by Van der Kaaij, Steen, Hendricks, now up 4 places to P6 on the Kart Republic chassis. Has got Niels Koster in the 122, right behind. Van der Kaaij looking for third. Not quite. Swore he was... oh, well. Now the gesticulation starts going in at earnest because Buzz Steen ran wide coming out of turn number 2. Hendricks was up the inside quicker than a rat up a drain pipe. So now it just goes to show that sometimes you can be brave on the brakes, but it doesn't always work out your way sometimes. There's still 9 minutes to go. Mick Bertram was out on the opening lap, I'm afraid, so the 134 didn't get past the opening lap. But Van den Hoek keeping at bay De Waal, who's 4.5 tenths of a second behind. Now it's the run down to turn number 2. Van der Kaaij this time decides discretion is the better part of valour as he's closing in on Edgar Oosting. William, a very, very tall individual. So he's having to hunch forward a little bit in comparison with everybody else and has more of a Formula style position. Leans back a little bit as well, so it's neck arched forward, back as far back as you can in terms of how the seat is positioned on the chassis. Mike Hendricks still running out the top 5 on the Kart Republic chassis, the number 156. But still, there is an opportunity for one of these drivers to get the opportunity to maybe go for the race win. Now, of course, at Berchem, it was the man in 4th, Van der Kaaij, that took complete advantage of the situation and managed to win by quite a comfortable margin. However, this time the boot is on the other foot, so to speak, because Glenn van den Hoek is leading and is pulling away from Wesley De Waal. So De Waal might have taken a little bit too much out of the tyres. Oh, Van der Kaaij having a great launch of traction coming out of that chicane. Nearly had the opportunity to go through turn 8 up the inside of Edgar Oosting, but might try the opportunity, whether he gets to run out of the final corner into turn 1 or whether he can use that momentum through turn 1, go into turn 2. They are literally next to nothing apart. Baz Steen looking up the inside of Mike Hendricks, and well, is now having to battle away with Niels Koster. Koster tries to get through but can't, using the outside line, and has to hold back. So after 7 laps, the top 5 were completed by just over 1.9 seconds. But that is starting to change a little bit because Baz Steen has got through. Oh, well, straight on at turn 8 and onto the grass went Mike Hendricks. So now it's getting hot and heated under the collar. Look at the top 4. Just over 5.5 tenths of a second. And there's still 6.5 minutes, plus those additional 2 laps. You tell me when something's going to happen, because something has got to give. Somebody's got to pull the pin on the grenade and start their attack. Because at this point, when you have these 4 drivers at the sharp end of the field so close together, it is really, really quite interesting how it all develops. And oh, but De Waal tries to get through, and Oosting through at turn 12 retakes the lead. How's about that one? And now the floodgates have opened. Oosting leads. Oh, and Van der Kaaij's front bumper looks like it's pointing a bit further downwards. Yeah, it's nearly scraping on the floor. Yes, the clips might not be in, but that is at an astute angle. I think the same could be for the cart behind, as we got yellow flags heading in towards the... Oh, right. That is... Oh, dearie me. So what has happened? That is Van den Brink and Mike Hendricks. Now we... So... Ah, right. So that is the yellow flag just before post 5. And Oosting has got a big mile of an advantage. 1 second to be precise. I did say there were going to be dramas, so you got Oosting, De Waal, Bas Steen, Glenn van den Hoek, William van der Kai, who's battling away with the 122, Niels Koster. So yellow flags will continue to wave. So no overtaking before the chicane. There's Van den Brink, I'm afraid, walking through shot there. So both out on lap 7. We're on lap 11 at the minute. But there has been a development. Edgar Oosting now has lost the race lead, being chased down by Bas Steen. Yeah, well, I think it's mainly because of the fact that Oosting made a bit of a blunder, unfortunately, and lost the race lead, having capitalised on. Oh, and Oosting's gone straight off at the chicane and nearly rejoined in front of another competitor. Oh, Edgar Oosting was leading, and now it's all gone Pete Tong. It's gone horribly wrong for the 106 on the Sodi kart. When you're carrying that amount of speed, that was probably the best part of over 95 kph. Fourth, maybe fifth gear. And Oosting has thrown, well, has lost not only just a race win, but has also potentially thrown away a podium in that kind of, you know, these conditions are still catching drivers out. We've still got one more race to go. And it's the KZ2 final, and that is set to be an absolute howitzer. If anyone might remember what transpired in the Benefit League at that second round of that, which was the third round of chrono karting for this particular class, and also for everyone else apart from Micro Minimax. There's a little bit of a discussion, I think, Gert van den Brink speaking to Marijn on the start-finish line. One of the many members of the team here at Chrono Karting that do a fabulous job. And a great thank you to the to the Chrono Karting team, everyone behind the scenes. No matter what their part, they all play a role in this. And we just had a kart pull up in pit lane. And that is... Danny Stockman has called it time, so we are down to 7 runners and riders in this KZ2 Masters final. One of attrition, I'm afraid, but unfortunately that is how the cookie crumbles in the latter stages. You know, it's a very, very taxing, very, very busy day as well. William van der Kai and Niels Koster closing in on Edgar Oosting in the 106. Sodi kart. Meantime, Wesley De Waal is leading, and his lead is now 2.5 seconds after 14 laps, says Van der Kai. Oh, well, not happy. I think one of the drivers in front of him. That's, yeah, there's been a few gesticulations as if to say, what on earth was that? But Bas Steen looking very racy, ahead of Glenn van den Hoek. That's the battle for second and third on the podium. And they were covered by not much after that last lap. Give or take 0.3 of a second. So they are line astern going through the chicane once again. And Bas Steen, actually, interesting enough, last lap 44.946. Then Van den Hoek 44.698. Wesley De Waal is not pushing 110%, and is now 2.882 seconds up the road. Danny Stockman has the fastest lap of the race so far, 43.370. Real shame to see him retire. Mark Verhoeven is the last driver that we're waiting. Oh, well, someone has got a lot of steam coming. Well, that was from the right front brakes. That's Mark Verhoeven, unfortunately, in the pit lane. So we have got nearly 50% of the field out of the competition. So 2 laps to go, and the lead for Wesley Duval is now 3.4 seconds. And it is getting a... Oh, and there's been a bit of a tangle at turn 2, one of which involving Niels Koster in the 122, and the other car might have... Oh, dearie me. Barsteen has now lost the podium, and that's been inherited, I believe, by Edgar Oosting in the 102 on the Sodi kart. That has really changed the dynamic of this race. A race of attrition. So 6 drivers still circulating. 1 more lap to go in this final. Well, Wesley Duval put it on pole position earlier on, won the pre-final convincingly, and is about to do the same here in the final. A maximum score for the 123 on the Birrell Art. Well, Glenn van den Hoek will have to consolidate 2 second-place finishes in as many races, because the battle will continue onwards to Kerpen in about a month's time on June 23rd. But Wesley Duval makes his way out of the chicane for the final time. Treating it like a Sunday afternoon drive in the countryside. Here is the 123. And now we'll exit out of turn number 13 for the final time. 1 more corner. Wesley Duval takes the win in the final here in KZ2 Masters. Glenn van den Hoek and Edgar Oosting round out the top 3 overall. And, well, William van der Guy takes 4th, and I cannot believe I'm going to be saying these words. First of all, look at the celebrations. Wesley Duval saying, yes, folks, I'm number 1. Well done, well deserved, and great sportsmanship right there with Glenn van den Hoek. They have been at each other's doors all day long, and Edgar Oosting even comes along to celebrate with the 123. William van der Guy takes 4th. Barsteen, Niels Koster ran at the 6th that finished all 19 laps. Mark Verhoeven pulled in with 15 laps completed. Danny Stockman on lap 12. Mike Hendricks and Gert van den Brink out on lap 7. And Mick Burton, unfortunately, out on lap number 1.